From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Well, Al Gore has introduced a global pledge for the young people going to the concert, loading on to the ships there at Wonderland. And we are joined by David Mayer de Rothschild. Al Gore, of course, is kicking off a string of global concerts this weekend on 7/7/7. And the man who's written the official book that is the accompaniment to this, meant for elementary grade school children, is David Mayer de Rothschild, born in 1978, a British adventurer, I love that title, an environmentalist who is the head of Adventure Ecology, an expedition group raising awareness about climate change. He is the youngest of the three children of Sir Evelyn de Rothschild of the Rothschild banking family of England. One of the arrows shooting out across the planet, invigorating everything. Mr. Rothschild, thank you for coming on the show with us today.
Thank you for having me on the show. That's quite an introduction there. Thank you.
Well, you bet. Now, tell us why you, one of the young, vibrant heirs of one of the main arms of the Rothschild family, the house, is embarking on this selfless mission to save the earth.
It's a good question. I mean, I think for me it's about saying, this is the only issue that we should be contending with right now, because we only have one planet. This is our house. And without that, then all the other rooms in our house, which may be poverty or disease or conflict or whatever it may be, then we don't have those, because without a house, you have no rooms. And so I think for me, it's just, I realized I was involved in an expedition to cross Antarctica 4 years ago. I followed the same route that Roald Amundsen did to the South Pole, and then I kited across the continent. And during my 3 months on this Arctic landscape, I realized that, we were having a huge effect on our fragile ecosystems as human beings, but also that it was us who was vulnerable should these systems collapse. It was our ability to live on this planet as we know it. So that's why I dedicated myself to making sure we get this issue out there.
Now, I've got a new poll out here. The Maury poll shows that most people in the UK remain unconvinced about warnings that our climate is being affected by global warming. What is the science that proving that man-made global warming, A, is real, and B, will cause cataclysmic problems?
I think there's the report you really need to be looking at was the report that was released at the beginning of the year by the IPCC, which is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It's made up of 2,500 scientists from around the world, all in the field of climatic studies. These are the brains, basically. These are the guys who have been looking at this stuff for a very long time. They come together, they put this report together, and there was a unanimous decision made and put across in this report.
Now, Mr. Rothschild, a whole bunch of people, hundreds of them, have gone public saying that they were included and asked their opinion in research, but that many of them never said that they agreed with man-made global warming or its causative effects.
I think that if you read the report, they actually do. They come out and they say...
No, they say their names were added falsely to that report. Are you aware of that global controversy? It's been in hundreds of newspapers.
I think the fact of the matter is that this type of argument about whether global warming exists or not is just is a waste of time. I mean, the fact of the matter is we've got one planet. We're not doing, all our systems are in degradation. We can argue about who's causing what, but there's no denying that our systems are shifting. I mean, look at your country right now. You've got floods in Texas. You've got 126 degrees in Arizona. You've got fires. You've got systems in England. We've had a sixth of our annual rainfall in 24 hours.
Well, there's always, hold on. I've read quite a few history books, even back at the time of Waterloo. When your family was so active, we've got all sorts of fires and storms and floods and things going on. I mean, witch doctors 5,000 years ago would point at an eclipse or point at a wildfire or point at a snowstorm and say, you better bring better offerings to my tent or I'll make the Ooga Boogas get you. I mean, really, isn't this just a organizing system to bring in global taxation and regulations? What is your solution to the global warming? warming. Is it not the global? Hold on. Is it not the global carbon tax, as Al Gore's called for?
There's many things. I think what you have to realize is that being environmentally sensitive and making money aren't mutually exclusive. There's a lot of money to be made in addressing this issue. There's been a lot of waste in our systems. We've built all our systems on a theory of infinite resources. We know for a fact we have finite resources. We know that we're consuming more than we're putting back. We know that our systems won't be able to support us if we continue to consume at this level. And you can say that there's, things are cyclical, but and that we've seen these weather systems before. But, this is the fact of the matter is that our CO2 levels today are higher than any other time in the last 650,000 years. Our civilization is being built around a system of stable weather systems and weather patterns. Our weather patterns are changing as fast as we, or faster than we ever expected.
What caused Pompeii, or what caused, famous hurricanes?
Pompeii was a natural disaster, which was, of course it was. What do you think caused it?
But see, that's my point. Is it what caused the divine wind, the kamikaze that blew away the Chinese fleet that was coming into Japan?
But let me ask you a question, sir. What is the downside? Why don't you want to believe climate change exists?
Well, number one,
what's the downside?
I'd like to tell you. Number one, I read Professor Carol Quigley. I've read United Nations documents. I've researched the Council on Foreign Relations. I've researched the different think tanks and groups that your family funds, also the things that Prince Bernhard was pushing before he died. Now, of course, Prince Philip, head of the World Life Fund, where they say they want to exterminate 80% of us, where they want to bring in neo-feudalism and serfdom as a model to manage the planet, and that human beings are a scourge. And I know that Malthus, back in the 1790s, said, oh, wonderful, we're going to outstrip our resources and half the population will starve to death by 1950. This type of baloney, and it's always turned out to be a fraud. You try to organize society by claiming there's a crisis and that you're going to be the organizers. Then you invite all the business people in saying this is the new model. Jump on the big bandwagon now, and you're not dealing with cross-species chimera genetic engineering, which can destroy your house. I know you don't care about the population, but you better care about your own house of Rothschild. And I'm talking, and so what you do is you ignore all the real environmental crises, and then you bring in world government and world taxation so you guys can even rule us with an even greater hand. And I'm sick of it. I'm not your slave, Rothschild, and your scam's not going to work.
Well, sir, I've never seen someone get so defensive. It's obviously, what they say, when you're in the wrong, you get all overheated, and I can see that with you now.
No, you asked my question.
Listen,
debate any of my facts. Debate any of my facts.
If you carry on like that, sir, you're going to cause global warming yourself the way you're heating over there.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I'm angry.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is, you cannot deny that our species our biodiversity loss is global. We're losing rainforests at 100,000 acres a day. Our weather patterns have changed. The scientific community is unanimous. I don't know whether you're sitting on
they're not unanimous.
Listen, maybe your shares in the oil industry that you have in your back pocket there are helping to drive your radio station, and that's why you're a bit concerned about maybe your little taxation break.
No, it came out. Wait a minute. Queen Beatrix. Well, let me finish.
Have you got children? Have you got children?
All right, just hold on a second, Lord Rothschild. Let me just say something here. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm not a Playboy adventurer.
What kind of planet do you think you're going to pass on to them?
Well, let me answer your question, because you keep putting these questions out. I'm going to answer them right now. You bet I'm angry because I have.
You didn't answer the last one.
Let me finish. Let me finish. You didn't answer. I'm going to answer the question. You didn't answer my question. You're using a lawyer tactic of asking a question and then not letting me answer it, implying that I didn't answer it.
Listen, I've been here.
You didn't answer my questions about your family and others bankrolling modern eugenics under the guise of of all these social Darwinism programs. Are you denying it?
Yeah, of course I'm denying it.
Okay, so you're saying Prince Philip didn't...
I've got nothing to do with Prince Philip. The fact of the matter is this has got nothing to do with climate change, sir. I'm coming on here to say I've been to these places. I've seen this stuff. I've spent over 200 days in the Arctic.
Let me tell you something.
Have you ever been outside of Texas?
Yes, I have been.
Where have you been?
I've been a lot of places. I know I don't have an education.